With us now is Richard Goldberg from the Foundation for Defense of Democracies. Thank you very much for joining us. I want to ask you about the Iranian angle. What does that mean now for U.S. policies towards Iran?
Yeah, well, obviously, we have to wait to see what happens in the Senate still. But if we assume that there is Republican control of the House of Representatives, that does pose some problems for the president if he were to continue to pursue some sort of a nuclear deal, which he has for almost 2 years now. First, you have the power of oversight. The Republicans can call witnesses at will, hold hearings as they wish. You have a messaging power in the House where they can pass bills and put pressure on the Senate and on the president at will. And then most importantly, if there is a deal, they will be able to pass a resolution of disapproval to try to reject that deal, put pressure on the Senate to pass that as well. All of this complicates the politics of an Iran deal. It doesn't take away the president's prerogatives in foreign policy, but it definitely weakens, undermines the legitimacy of any deal, and almost guarantees that if there is a Republican president again, another deal would simply have the same fate as the last one.
Though Biden administration officials have indicated lately that the nuclear talks, a nuclear deal, is not exactly on the table anymore.
Well, that is what they've said, but at the same time, they've also said the window remains open if Iran ever changes its mind. They're very careful in their words. They say it's not on the agenda today. It's not the priority today. But notice no one has gone to the Security Council to snap back the UN Security Council resolution, return sanctions, actually end the deal. It's still there. The sunsets are still ticking. So this is going to be very important for Republicans. They will put more pressure on the White House. They'll also be able to have a say in appropriations bills, defense spending, oversight of foreign assistance, and of course the National Defense Authorization Act, which can also prove very important in the Iran context.
And what about the Iranians? Will they now sit and wait to see what happens?
Well, I think the Iranians have always been on their own clock. I think it's been a very Western misunderstanding that they're waiting for the midterm elections to see what happens here. If anything, we are seeing that their resolve to continue to defy the Biden administration's outreach continues. Their entrenchment with the Russians continues. Their repression at home continues. And so I hope that the elections give the president an opportunity to come to the center on a lot of issues, of which he should, including on Iran, and build bipartisan bridges in Congress to support an agenda of freedom in Iran, helping the Iranian people who are in the streets today, and holding Iran accountable by snapping back the UN sanctions at the Security Council to put more pressure on Iran as it helps Russia in its war on Ukraine.
So with what's going on in Iran right now in terms of human rights, would you say that there's a strong bipartisan coalition in the states against Iran on these issues?
I think so. I think the politics of being for sanctions relief for this regime, which is at its core what being for the Iran nuclear deal, has collapsed. And so you are seeing a lot of Democrats come over to Republicans saying, what can we do together? There would be great cover for those Democrats to do more if the president would simply say the deal is off the table. There will not be sanctions relief for Iran. Then you could unlock a lot of potential of legislation, House and Senate, even if there's divided parties there, to move legislation to support the president's agenda, provide financial support, other material support to the people of Iran, while also putting more financial pressure on the regime.
Richard Goldberg, thank you very much.